Coping mechanisms. Yesterday, I met someone who I've never met before and will probably never meet again. A group from Rochdale, a place close to my heart, were visiting our church for their annual away day. I was there during my walk with my dog, Coco, to set up the audio-visual equipment for their use during the day. After they'd settled in, I left to walk home, but Coco wanted to get a lift with her granddad, my dad, who was just setting off in his car. As Coco was digging her heels in, a man from the group came over to talk to her. I explained that she was nervous and that it wasn't a good idea to get too close due to issues from before she was rescued. The man said, "Dogs never forget, do they? And, unlike us, they don't have coping mechanisms." He then went on to tell me that due to his active service in Northern Ireland and as a prison officer during the riots at Strangeways, he struggles with PTSD. During the riots, the prisoners on the roof tied T-shirts doused in oil from the kitchen onto 25-foot scaffolding posts, set fire to the T-shirts, and then threw the burning posts onto the prison officers below. He had said that it is impossible to avoid the triggers in everyday life. He explained that when he walks down the street and sees scaffolding, it triggers memories of the riots and brings back all the difficult, frightening experiences from prison and his time in the army. But, over time, he has developed coping mechanisms that allow him to handle the triggers. There are so many different types of anxiety and stress. Some invoke mental trauma, others physical difficulties, and each have their own unique individual triggers. After speaking to the man for a few minutes, Coco decided that she was okay to walk home, and, on the way, I pondered the message the man had shared with me and how I could apply it to my anxieties. I concluded that recognizing the triggers is the first step, but developing coping mechanisms is the key to dealing with the associated anxiety. Easier said than done, but as the man had proved, not impossible. If that man hadn't travelled from Rochdale, if I had left earlier, if Grandad Bob hadn't left at the same time, and, most importantly, if Coco hadn't refused to walk, the conversation would not have happened, and the words of wisdom wouldn't have been shared. Coco had treated the opportunity for the lift that I needed. Dogs do work in mysterious ways. By the way, the man wasn't dressed all in white with angelic wings, but he did have an Ozzy Osbourne-style cross around his neck. Thankfully, it wasn't upside down.